Hey guys, welcome back to ArtosisCasts. We're going to go ahead and check out another game here between Rich in the top right and True here in the bottom left. This time, we're going to be on Deja Vu. That last game on Radeon, I felt like that was the first time I've seen True really get into that type of later game macro style, but it was like still pretty Ling heavy. It's still, it felt like that is the type of late game that True should be playing or going for. It wasn't kind of this layer tech all-in stuff that we see from him. The vast majority of his ZVPs, at least that I've seen. Excuse me, sorry. Some caught in my throat there. But yeah, kind of cool to see him filling that out. It definitely does feel like right now, a lot of players are fixing themselves up, and that's going to be something that I'm focusing on after we do these PVZs. There's definitely some players, again, I kind of alluded to it in the previous one, that have risen to the top of the ladder that are not your normal suspects up there. So I've really been wanting to do some little miniature deep dives on some of them. So I think that we'll probably check some of those out relatively soon. There's a few other games I wanted to check out as well. So yeah, it's exciting. That's one thing that really gets me excited. Like, obviously when you have like a new up and coming player, that can be exciting. Although that in StarCraft 1, that's like a many years process. So I don't think it's the same as a lot of other games where you get someone that just kind of rises to the top. It's like, whoa, look, yeah. That doesn't happen in Brood War. It's just there's too much going on, I think. But I like it when old pros come back. That's exciting too, right? Like, we just got done the Nada stuff. That's super exciting. Like, I want that to happen. I want Jaehoon to be back, even though I guess he's not. Or maybe he is, but not on that account. But another thing that I really, really like is when a player that you kind of already have your expectations for has already kind of had their career and done what they've done and play how they play, when they actually say, you know what, we're going to fix stuff. We're going to get a lot better now. And there are players doing that. But anyways, I'll talk more about that as we get into those games as well. Taking a look here, it is a Forge expansion from Rich. Over here, it is a Hatchery First from True. And so it is going to be a little bit before anything really gets going. You know, a little bit of harassment here, slowing down that third base. That's really annoying for True. But while we're doing that, I do want to thank you guys for checking out ArtosisCasts, and I want to thank you for subscribing. Recently, the channel has hit 60,000 subscribers. That's pretty badass for English StarCraft 1 casting in 2025, if I do say so myself. Pretty darn happy with that, so big thanks to you guys. Could not do it without you. So if you're not subscribed, please do. And of course, liking the video, leaving a comment, all that great stuff, telling a friend about it. You know, all these things are amazing. And just having people just regularly want to watch some Brood War is just, it's such a happy place to be in this day and age, that we can still have nice things. We don't have to become fans of games that suck because they're popular. Yay! All right. So, taking a look here. Yeah, no, we're still in that kind of early phase of the game. The third base did get delayed a little bit by the probe, so I think that's like a small edge too, Rich. And nothing too crazy. It's like layer plus speed. You know, Cybernetic Core, obviously Zealot starting up and going to go out across the map. Very, very normal stuff there from Rich. So I guess one little other reminder. A big thanks to everyone who has subscribed on the Patreon. That's patreon.com/Artosis. If you'd like to check it out, please go right ahead. Big thanks to you guys. It's really awesome. Okay, so probe staying alive. As speed finishes, he'll be able to pick that probe off. But Rich has gotten the scouting that he needs, really. And in fact, he is going for the +1 air. He has that Stargate still coming. So looking at this, you can kind of tell it is a Spire, obviously. And, you know, when Zergling speed finishes, like Zergling speed goes with mutas very, very well. Because you do need that anti-zealot play. And slowlings are not it. He actually killed it right before speed finished. But yeah, Rich knows what's going on. And he should have a third Zealot out here pretty quick. Little hole there, but I don't think there's really enough coming up to really threaten anything. He did see the hole. And there you go. Everything is sealed up tight. Some extra drones being sent down to this third base. And that first Corsair going to be coming out now as well. The Overlords kind of going off into almost random positions, making it a lot harder. Like, look at how kind of random this spot is. You know, you look at certain locations that Overlords like to hide, like over edges, right? Like places like this. Where they're hard to see from the ground, but they can spot a lot. So sometimes it's really smart to just kind of put them in the middle, where it's like, yeah, it's easy to shift-click a Corsair around the edge of the map, but it's not easy to shift-click it through every single pixel, so sometimes you'll miss them in a position like that. We have the Evolution Chamber with that +1 starting, +1 Flyer Carapace on the way here as well for True. We'll see if he does that same type of style here once again. Couple extra photon cannons coming up. Getting ready to add gateways as well right there, no doubt. The Citadel already getting those Zealot legs also. Little group of Speedlings out here in the front as the Corsair does turn around. A couple Scourge on its tail. So looks like he did end up getting 2 Overlord kills. He got the one that was down here, and then he got one over here. So that's pretty darn solid. You gotta be happy with that. For sure. Cannon finished up. He was hiding these up in the corner, hoping the cannon would block the Scourge from coming up. Has that one pylon prison trapped probe to group with the Corsairs, just in case you were wondering about that. It's just like mutas. You have the reason a group of mutas is 11 because you have an Overlord in the group, and because you have one unit that's really far away from them, they all clump on top of each other. Same thing here. So as you right-click this in a move or attack move or whatever, they'll clump on top of each other because this one is not nearby. See this? See how he moves and just kind of clicks them together? Much easier to do when they're selected with another unit over there. Also works with a sieged tank if you're doing wraiths, or a burrowed ling if you're doing mutas. Like if you have burrow, sometimes people switch over to a burrowed ling with it, because then it won't move across the map like Overlords. Anyways, the Corsair is going to retreat a little bit. Mutas finally do come out, and this is 6. So this is a little bit of a tell that he's going pretty hard on mutas here. Oh! Damn! The +1, he's getting wrecked! Oh my god! He tried to attack with the Scourge. The +1 was really fast, to be fair. The +1 was very fast, so I think he wasn't really prepared for that. +1 makes a huge difference in these fights. A huge difference. All right, so like more mutas are being made, more Scourge. He doesn't have the +1 Flyer Carapace yet, and these mutas got really, really badly hurt. So I'm a little bit nervous for True here. It definitely feels like Rich has a bit of an edge due to that engagement. Sending a Zealot up here to check. I think he is probably getting ready for an additional base. The Cloud of Scourge is really big right now. Yeah, the muta count not really that good. He is switching into the Hydras a little bit quicker than what we saw before. Archon catches some Scourge, gets a couple hits off there. All right, the Scourge doing a good job of actually chasing those Corsairs back. He clears the Archon very quickly, which is what you need to do. Just target anything you can onto that Archon so it doesn't just absolutely ravage your mutas. Scourge coming back up for the Corsairs, but the Corsairs turn and fight the Scourge. Wow, only lose one. Another one did connect there, as you can see. But still, the Corsairs absolutely dominating the skies. Looks like that 4th base being attacked here. True in a bit of trouble once again. He did lose that 4th base in the previous game against Rich, but it didn't actually end up affecting the outcome for him. He did still win that one. This one feels more impactful, though. The previous game, it did feel like the mutas did a lot more. They cleared the Corsairs better. They didn't get a lot of probe damage, but they did get a few High Templars here and there. So I'm looking at this game, and with this many Corsairs still on the map rotating around, this definitely feels like Rich has a bigger edge in this game than what we saw previously. Now, that being said, a little Hydralisk counterattack up here to the 3rd base, but the Zealot count is pretty darn high with 1/1 upgrades. Getting right on top of these Hydras. Yeah, trying to kite back a little bit. Looks like the Hydra's really starting to get wrecked here. And of course, with those Corsairs coming back, I think the only reason he was staying in that engagement is because he had the mutas giving the extra damage. Another group of Hydras come up. He did get the cancel, actually. Somehow my eyes didn't see that while I was watching the kiting. But gets the cancel, so at least that is something there. So 2 base versus 3 base continues. Obviously, if Rich went up to 3 base against the 3 base of True, we're looking at a game that's probably going to end pretty quickly at that point. Lurker upgrade on the way. The Corsairs continue to pick off Overlords. True having a much tougher game this time against Rich. Seems like he learned something there. Much better Corsair management. I wonder how much it had to do with how quick the +1 attack was. Very interesting stuff. Corsairs, a couple getting picked off, but he does rotate back and goes after some of these Overlords. Well, looks like not much left for them. All right, the Corsairs are mostly dealt with at this point. Now, here's the question, because the Corsairs are mostly gone. Do we see True make another group of mutas, or is he just going to use his gas on these Lurkers? The thing is, for this map in particular, Deja Vu is a great map for Lurkers because of this donut of high ground. If you have Lurkers set up either defensively here or an offensive contain over there, it's really hard for Protoss to attack up. But he is switching back to the mutas. He has the Lurker upgrade, but instead going back towards that other style that we've seen so much from him in the past. Now, some Psy Storms coming down on these Hydras. He's trying to dance back, taking some damage here. Going to go ahead, pick off a lot of those Hydras. Has that high ground advantage. No more Psy Storms, so that's something at least. The mutas, we'll see if they're actually able to maybe go across the map, pick off a few more High Templars before they come out. But right now, having to be used to deal with these Zealots. Now, this is interesting. Rich is actually just pushing in with the goons. Okay, I thought he might rotate over and try to get this hatch because it's already taken so much damage. Well, he does pull back a little bit. He started poking in here, pulls back. Seems like the Zealots are going to be sent back up here. In the meantime, the Muta's going across the map to do a bit of work. Looks like he's going to go ahead and look for some High Templars. Going to catch a few probes, though, on their way up to transfer. And that 4th base going to fall once again. So we are going to go to 3 base versus 3 base. And like I said, when it gets to that position in ZVP, you have to stay purely aggressive as Zerg. There's not much chance on fighting back. You know, if you were like already Hive, that would be something we could talk about. I've seen some Zergs occasionally play a style like that where they have quicker Hive and less bases. I've seen Jadong and Sulky actually both achieve that occasionally. It's a pretty rare thing to see, but I've seen it. But in this type of position, I think what you see here, where he's diving here, he's bringing a lot of units up as well, this is what you need to do. You need to stay super, super aggro. It's like, okay, your opponent has that economy advantage right now, so you have to go do something. And the mutas actually do a pretty fair job up there. Definitely keep him a bit busy. A lot of Overlords flying over. I'm not exactly sure why that many have flown over, but he does dive on some of these High Templars. 1 High Templar remains, and he's trying to set up this Lurker containment that I've been talking about so far in this game. A lot of Protoss players like to veto this map because of how difficult it can be to get up here against Lurkers. So he is setting that up, trying to make it a very difficult position. This is funny because Rich is in the lead, but this position can be so hard to break. I'm actually not sure he's going to be able to break it. He's going to try, though, because you can't just let this sit here. Like, you'll never win if you just let that sit there. And if he doesn't break it, like if he loses his army attacking uphill, he's just going to lose the game. This is actually reminding me a lot of Terran versus Protoss, as those two matchups, you know, Protoss versus Zerg and Terran versus Protoss, are very similar, where it's like it seems like the underdog is winning a bit, and then like you might lose and engage, and that's going to do it. So let's see if Rich is actually able to break out of here. He did a pretty good job having a couple zealots in the front there. That's a really good Psystorm. Trying to break through. That's a very good Psystorm as well. How many more does he have, though? The Hydras are getting some serious damage onto these Dragoons. They are starting to pop quite a bit. More and more Lurkers coming over with these additional Hydras as well. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. I think True's going to pick up another game here. But hold on. Ooh, that is an excellent Psystorm. That being said, though, he does pick off several more Dragoons before those Lurkers die. I think Rich has just barely done it. If he can get up here and secure this area, I think the game is his. True backs up slightly. Does have a Lurker there. Don't forget, Lurkers actually don't miss attacking uphill. Did you know that? It's because their entire attack is splash damage. All right, so... Rich right now just trying to break through. He needs a few more units, I think. If he had like 4 more Zealots here, I feel like he would break it. He is just behind where he needs to be. Brings up additional Zealots and a few more Goons, but no more Psystorms exist. The Hydra's starting to break through at this point. Massive macro from True, spending every mineral that he has in that bank right now. Picking these units off, pushes him back to the wall. Now this is getting really bad for Rich, because you can segment off and go kill this. 4 or 5 cannons are not that many. So he leaves a couple Lurkers here to kind of slow Rich down, and now he's diving on this third base. I believe if you kill the third, you've just got it. He brings the probes down to try to stop him. Units coming out here from Rich to try to break through. He has +2 armor now, so that is helping a little bit in the stability of his army. Gonna pick off a lot of probes there. It looks like that third base is in fact going to go down. And, well, with these Hydras coming back to flank this army and no Psystorms, yeah, Rich is going to GG. So True actually takes him down once again. Pretty impressive. I actually thought for sure Rich was going to have this one, but it really shows you why Deja Vu is a bit Zerg favored in the matchup. Really hard to break through once they get the Lurkers on this high ground area. Awesome game from True. He was way further behind this game than the previous game and still fought back well. Although it was kind of a more all-in victory, whereas the last one was he kind of macroed out of it. So really, really cool game. Thanks for watching, guys. I hope you enjoyed it, and we will see you next time.